Hey, we are back. Thanks for joining us again on the Myth Impressions channel, home of Nemesis Gear, Steampunked Out, and of course, Knox Hollow brands. We are back in the Knox Hollow wood shop with the final video of the Eight Woods series that I've been doing over the last couple months. And if you're just joining us, I got 8 new woods that I hadn't ever used before, and I saved the absolute best for last, the all precious Gaboon ebony, the blackest of black woods that you can get. Hard to find in sizes. It's super expensive, and this is the final pinnacle video of the special edition wand that I created. We've done two other wands out of this ebony before. You can catch the previous video that was released just before this one. If you want to see the beginning of this process, the same process is used for almost all my wands. Basically, getting the wood into the just a round, turn it from that rectangular shape into a round, and then we take the blade of the wand, we make it about the size of a Sharpie, so that it fits into my wand holsters that I make from leather. And also, I can feed that up into the chuck jaws and get as much of the wood supported as possible. So I have a smaller amount to work with when it comes to dealing with wood chatter and stuff. And that's kind of important. If you haven't seen the other videos, I will talk a little bit about the ebony wood. The first thing that I want to mention is the piece that I got here really just quickly. I got really lucky on getting this piece. It was just slightly over the normal width of 1.5, which made me able to cut this one piece down into enough to make 4 wands out of. Fortunately, I did have one of them warped fairly badly, but I was able to cut one end off, and I'll be able to still use that. But I got 3 normal size wands out of this. The 4th wand, actually, I could make a normal size wand out of it, but I think that I'm actually going to use that for my own personal wand because it's so hard to get this. And that's going to be a video coming up in the future. I'll show you how I make. I'm going to do, if it's mine, then I get to keep it. I can get as fancy as I want. So I'm going to do that. Anyways, so ebony wood, yeah, it's dense. It's not the easiest wood to work with, but that density means that it polishes up beautifully. And Gaboon ebony is the blackest wood. Most people think of this when they think of true ebony. This is what there is. There are other varieties of true ebonies as well. Macassar ebony for one. And I do actually have some Macassar ebony. If you go back and look at some of the videos, it is a nice wood. It's pretty dense as well, but it has these kind of golden brown streaks running through it. So this is the super black wood. When you think of ebony as a super black wood, this is that ebony. So why it's so hard to get, but that density makes it polish up really nicely. I was able to take this all the way up to a 2000 grit, and it just worked wonderfully. So we've gone through our shaping process here while I've jabbered on, and we're finishing up. We're going to go into a bunch of sanding, which of course I edit out, and we're also going to be doing some carving on this as well. So I did kind of want to show this part too. I suspect that part of this wood came from close to the outer edge of the bark, and there was a couple of pieces here where I found a couple of pinholes from some sort of animal, bug, critter kind of ate a small little hole in that. And so what I'm doing here is I've just used the cyanoacrylate glue, and I've just put a drop in there, and I'm taking some of the wood dust and rubbing that into the hole, and that's going to fill up and cover that. So you really won't even see that. It was such a tiny hole, but that's one way that you can fix those little holes. And that sometimes, especially when you're dealing with these really expensive rare woods, when you get a piece and it's covered with a paraffin wax to seal it when they cut it, so you can't see the surface really well in the store. So sometimes you just get what you get. And dealing with little things like pinholes and stuff like that is something that you have to do. So we'll little small fix. It's very minor, and you'll never see that. So we just sand those pieces, clean them up, and then we'll go to the rest of our normal process. Put our friction burn lines in there, as I am going to use these as a guide. And then once we clean those friction burns up, we'll do a bunch of sanding. We'll get this all polished up, and then we'll start moving into our next steps. But first, a quick reminder to slide down there and hit that thumbs up button if you would. It only takes just a moment, and we certainly appreciate the support. It does help the videos get shown to more people. The more thumbs up we'll get. So thank you all so much for supporting the channel. And so we're gonna part off the tenon here on this, and it comes off pretty nicely. The one stays fairly straight. It's just a tiny wobble, and we'll get that all cleaned up. And then we're gonna start prepping for our carving. And so I decided that I was going to do sort of an organic carved shape into this handle. It's really time consuming to do this, but again, this was going to be kind of a fancy wand. I tried to start doing this with just a pencil, and a lot of times you can still see that shiny lead on there. But yeah, it was really hard to see. So I'm just using the paint marker on here because it's going to get carved off anyways. And I'm just going to rough some lines in generally where I want some of the shapes to go. So this way I get an idea of the general pattern that I'm going to be putting into this, and we're going to be carving some relief into that. And then we'll get into the power carver. So I've got the power carver here, and just got a little small burr on there, and I'm going to just start carving out some of these lines. And found out really quickly that the density of this wood and the size and type of bits that I had actually made this really difficult to carve. So we're gonna try the wood burner instead to put our designs in here. And I think overall that it turned out it did pretty much the same thing, but it was a little bit faster and easier to do. I do want to remind you as well that if you're liking these videos, you can slide down there and hit that subscribe button. It doesn't cost anything. But when you hit the subscribe, you're going to want to ring that bell. And that way you'll get notified anytime I have new videos coming out. So this will conclude the wand making videos here in the near future. But I do have one coming out so I'm doing a special project while I'm editing these videos. I've got a special project that I'm doing with 3D printing that I think is going to be really cool. And I'm hoping that I get enough interest in this. I'd like to run a Kickstarter and see if other people are interested in this new device that I'm making with the 3D printer. So stay tuned for that. And of course, as we're moving into the winter, definitely we'll be doing more videos in the future as well on all kinds of things. So definitely check it out. And of course, while the wood burner, the pyrography tool what did turn out to be a little bit easier to put in this particular design than the power carver was, it still took quite a while. It was really quite a dense wood. And so, yeah, I'm using some different bits on this to get the design in. This little round wire works good for just getting these outlines in. And then I used a smaller one to put in the details. So once I had that done, it's just a matter of getting this sanded up, and I'm going to clean up. Now you can kind of get a little bit closer look at some of the detail work that I've done in that. And it's just a matter of getting all that wiped out and cleaned out and stuff for you. So we can pull this out and you can kind of get an idea of the texture that I've got in here. And yeah, I think time consuming, but it's a really cool, interesting texture, a lot of relief on that. We put the taper on the wand, and then obviously I've gone down. And what I did is I sprayed that area with the silver paint. And all I'm doing now is I've sanded off that surface, that top surface, so that the silver paint stays down into all of that relief and really kind of brings out that structure. And then, of course, I also did that in the concentric friction burns that I did. But yeah, it turned out really nice. Once we got the oil on there, you can really start to see that color pop out and that nice silver inlay bringing out that texture design. I was really happy with this. I think that this technique to be used for a whole bunch of different designs, but this is the one I did for this one. So hopefully I'll get some more wood in the future. But we'll go in the studio here and we'll get some nice close-up shots. And yeah, the lighting really shows the color and texture and grain and everything that ebony is just known for. And overall, I think this is going to be top notch as far as the the special edition ones go. So hope you enjoyed watching this. Certainly want to check out some more videos in the future. So we look forward to seeing you again. And we really appreciate you joining us and supporting the channel. So thanks for watching, and we'll catch you on the next video.